Hey guys, so I'm doing another special effects makeup look. I based it off the saying, cross my heart, hope to die, stick a needle in my eye. I haven't seen anybody on YouTube do this, so I decided to do it. So I'm starting off with my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I'm contouring my collarbones and the parts that stick out in my neck. I'm also contouring my cheekbones to make myself look sunken in. I am then taking my liquid latex, pouring it in a container that works for me. I am splitting tissue paper so it's thinner to work with, and I am stripping it into columns. And then I'm going to start to create a line over my chest. Make sure it's on the right side. This is the second time I've done this because I actually did it on the wrong side. So I'm applying liquid latex down on a line form, and then I'm applying the tissue paper over top of that, and then applying liquid latex over top of that. It's basically the exact same process as my stitch mouth tutorial, but we are creating an X. I did about 4 or 5 layers, but do whatever works for you. I am then taking my Q-tip and dipping it into liquid latex, smoothing it over the edges of the X we have just created. Just like in my stitch mouth tutorial, this creates a huge difference when we start to create bruising with the grease paints, and it won't let it catch the edge as much. I decided the edges of the X weren't pointy enough, so I just took more tissue, I cut it into the shape of a point, and put it at the edge of the X. Next, I'm taking the lightest concealer I have. Make sure to use your lightest concealer because for some reason when applied over liquid latex, concealer or foundation oxidizes, and then I am powdering it with a powder. Then taking tweezers, I'm going to start to dig a hole in the middle of the X. Please be very, very careful while doing all of this and make sure you're aware of what is latex and what is your skin when you're cutting and pulling. I've done this a couple times, so I'm pretty aware now, but if you're not comfortable or if you haven't done this, then just please take your time and be very careful. Then I'm taking my scissors and I'm starting from the hole and I'm creating slits through each cross. Once I've finished that, I'm going to start to cut off part of the flap, so once we start shading and applying blood, you can see more inside the X. Next, I'm taking my spirit gum and applying it under any flaps that are too loose. Make sure when using spirit gum to tap it before you apply any prosthetic. Next, I'm taking the red from my Mayron color wheel and I am filling all of the X in just to create a base for the rest of the shading and the fake blood we will be applying. Then I'm taking a very deep blue and darkening up the edges on the inside of the X to create more of a bruised effect. Then I'm taking the very, very dark plum from another Ben Nye color wheel. It looks almost black, and I'm shading the X in even more to create more depth. Once I'm done all the inside shading, I'm going back with a very, very thin brush and that navy blue color, and I'm starting to create fake veins. I'm going in with that, making it super light, and then I'm also taking a red to contrast. Then I'm taking a disposable makeup sponge with holes taken out of the bottom to create texture, and I'm starting out with a yellow to create the base for the outside bruising. Afterwards, I'm going in with that same sponge and I'm going up with the red and I'm applying that by my collarbone to make it look more sunken in and sick, and also around the X. Afterwards, I'm going in with that dark plum and I'm going around all the edges to finish off the bruising, and I'm adding any last touches I want. I also went in with the bronzer to create more of a lift to the edges of the cross. After all the bruising, I'm going in with Ben Nye Fresh Scab. I'm taking the parts of the sponge left over from the texturized one we used to bruise. I'm coating them in fake blood and placing them to look like clots and lifting the edges of the skin. Then I'm taking my Ben Nye Dark Blood and I'm taking that with a brush and I am dripping that so it looks like blood is dripping from the edges of the cut. Starting off with the eye, I'm coating my eyelashes in glue just to make sure no liquid latex touches my eyelashes. Afterwards, I'm taking a piece of plastic, I know, kind of ghetto, but it works really well, that I just cut out from a bag, and I'm placing that over my eye with spirit gum. Be very careful when you're doing this. You don't want to glue your eye shut. Trust me, I did. I have clips of me pulling my eye open. And then I'm applying liquid latex over top of the plastic and building tissue over top of that. Make sure not to put any liquid latex by the cut of your eye because, again, like me, you'll glue your eye shut. Afterwards, I'm applying concealer over top of that once it's dry. After applying concealer, I'm going in with a bronzer and I'm going around the edges just to make them look more sunken in and risen, if that makes sense. And then exactly like I did the X on my chest, I'm building colors, so I'm starting off with a yellow and starting to create a base from the bruising. And then I'm going in with a green to create more of a multi-tone color, and then I'm going in with the red and the tiniest bit of plum. Also, I'm going in with the red and the plum on the inner corner of my eye so it looks like an infection is coming through the tear duct of my eye. And texture is the best part in this, so I didn't really mind that the tissue was kind of lumpy because I wanted it to look swollen. Again, I'm doing the exact same thing I did on my chest. I'm taking the very thin brush and I'm creating veins with the navy blue, and then I'm going in with the red and making sure they look softened by blending them. Finally, I'm taking spirit gum. I'm applying that where I want the needle to be. I'm tapping it so it becomes tacky, and then I'm putting the needle down. You do have to wait, it takes a while, and apply liquid latex under it, but it will work out, don't worry. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have an awesome day, and keep watching for more videos.